Hello everyone, welcome back to the Anatomy Lab. Today we're going to be taking a look at the integumentary system again. This is going to be part 2, looking at a different model, but also looking at a few different structures from what we looked at last time. So if you need an introduction to the integumentary system, I would recommend looking at that first before you come to this video. But this will have some different things, such as the layers of the epidermis. So just to quickly orient ourselves again, skin with our three major layers: epidermis, dermis, hypodermis. But what you can see here, especially in the epidermis, is that there are actually 5 major layers. Last time we only saw 2 of them, but in here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all of these are included in the epidermis, but if you look closely over here, you don't always have all of them. So one of them is going to be only found in certain parts of the body. So just make sure that you're aware of that. But let's take a look at what we have here. Out here, or let's start deep again, or this time. This over here, the single layer at the bottom of the epidermis, or the deepest part of the epidermis, this is the stratum basale. The stratum basale is a single layer of cells which is going to be composed of a lot of keratinocytes undergoing mitosis. Once you've gotten from the basal layer, superficially, this is now the stratum spinosum. So you can see that it changes in color a bit. The stratum spinosum is going to be the next layer after the stratum basale. After that, this layer superficial to that will be the stratum granulosum. And then this yellow layer, which is not always present, but present in places where you have thick epidermis, this is the stratum lucidum. And then lastly, once again, the stratum corneum. So you have stratum basale, stratum spinosum, stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and then stratum corneum. So if you don't see, or sometimes, or a lot of the times, you will actually be missing the stratum lucidum. In that case, you just only have 4 strata. Now, looking again deep to the epidermis though, what do you see? The dermal papillae, which you can see a lot more clearly in here because you can see that underneath the stratum basale, you'll be able to see that you have these bumps that are composed of dermal tissue. These are the dermal papillae. So dermis, dermal, papillae, bumps. But in those bumps, you'll often find these little receptors, such as the Meissner's corpuscles. So Meissner's corpuscles found in the dermal papillae. Now moving down further into the dermis, let's take a look at what we have. So like last time, we saw that we had hairs. The hairs have different parts though. The part that is surrounding the hair on the outside, encapsulating it, is the hair follicle. The part of the hair that is embedded into the skin, this deeper portion of the hair, is the hair root. And then the portion that is going to start sticking out to the outside of the body, and what you can see on the outside of the body for sure, this is called the hair shaft. So hair follicle, hair root, hair shaft, those are the parts of the hair. But remember, associated with the hair, there are 2 major structures that you should look for. First of all, this red structure, the fibrous red structure, you can see that it has those strands. This is a muscle, and this is specifically the erector pili muscle. Erector pili muscle pulls on the hair to cause goosebumps. Also connected to the hair, you can see that it is going to be secreting onto the hair root to go up along the hair shaft. This is the oily gland, the sebaceous gland. But you also have one more gland that is not connected to the hair root. This is the sweat gland, and it goes directly up to the skin, not attached to the hair root at all. Now some nerves that you can also look for besides Meissner's corpuscles. You have Pacinian corpuscles, in this case deeper to the Meissner's corpuscles, but still not super deep, but also free nerve endings, the ones that have nothing on the ends of its little branches. On this side, you can see that you have another type of branching nerve, but in this case they have little circles on the ends. These are Merkel's discs. And one more thing to look at is that although it looks different from what you saw before, this and this are still corpuscles, the bulbous structures. This is the Pacinian corpuscle, and this is the Meissner's corpuscle. Lastly, the tissue that is going to be composing the majority of the hypodermis, that is going to be the adipose tissue, or these little yellow bubbles. So notice that it can look different from model to model. Definitely look at all of the pictures that are provided for you and find all of the structures from your structure list. So with that said, that's about it for this video. Good luck with your studying. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.